They threw me a retirement party with fake smiles and a slice of betrayal. My own son handed me a glass of champagne and a pink slip in the same breath. "Time to move on, Dad," he said. So I did. Right into their boardroom. And I didn't just take back control of the company I built. I fired my own son on live Zoom. What followed? Chaos, headlines, and a family civil war that changed everything. Want to know what really happened when they tried to write off a 74-year-old man with a grudge and a plan? Buckle up. This is war. You ever feel like you were being gently shoved out the door of your own life? That was me, Harold Benson, 74, founder of Benson Tech Solutions. The day they threw me a surprise retirement party, I knew something stunk worse than my Labrador's breath after trash day. My son, Chad, delivered a speech so rehearsed it made soap operas look natural. "Dad, it's time for the next generation to lead." Translation: "You're old. You're in the way. Leave." I smiled, cut the cake, and toasted champagne. But inside, I was already making plans. Would you trust your company to your own kid? Drop your thoughts in the comments. A week later, I accidentally walked into a closed-door meeting. My son and the board were talking about pivoting away from Harold-era leadership and streamlining legacy liabilities. I was the legacy. I walked out quiet, but I wasn't defeated. That night, I dusted off a folder labeled Contingency Plan H. H stood for Harold. Always have a plan. Even if your own kid turns into a corporate snake. Back in 1985, I made a deal with my old college roommate, Frank. I gave him 11% of Benson Tech in exchange for seed money. Guess who never sold that stake? Guess who still had voting rights? And guess who owed me a life debt because I pulled him out of a gambling scandal in '94? Frank was in. Now all I needed was 40% more to buy controlling interest. I may be old, but I ain't dead. I got on the phone, reconnected with old partners, investors, ex-employees, people who hated the new Benson Tech. I promised them redemption, power, respect. Most of all, I promised them revenge. "You're embarrassing yourself," Chad snapped at our Sunday dinner. "You're not the man you used to be. You can barely open an email." "Careful, son," I said, stabbing a meatball with my fork. "Old lions still have teeth." He laughed. "Big mistake." With Frank's stake and a few strategic purchases from frustrated board members, I reached 51% ownership. I filed the papers on a Tuesday. On Wednesday, I walked into the company with legal documents and a smirk. "There's a new sheriff in town." Again. I didn't do it in private. I called a town hall meeting. I addressed the entire company. Effective immediately, Chad Benson is relieved of all executive duties. He will be offered a consultant role if he wants to learn humility. The room went silent. Chad looked at me like I slapped him. Maybe I did. With paperwork. My daughter cried. My wife called me vindictive. Chad stormed out. My grandkids didn't understand. But the employees, they clapped. One whispered, "Welcome back, Mr. B. Was I wrong to fire my own son? Let me know in the comments." We scrapped the fluff. We brought back values. We reinstated employee bonuses. We went green. And we made a TikTok. Don't laugh. It got 3 million views. 2 months later, Chad showed up at my office. "I hated you for what you did. But now, I get it. I let ambition ruin our relationship." I handed him a coffee. Sometimes you gotta lose everything to understand what matters. So here's my question to you. Was I cruel or just correcting a wrong? They tried to write me off like I was just some dusty relic. But I built this. I fought for it. And yeah, I fired my own son. But maybe, just maybe, I saved him too. Smash like. Hit subscribe. And tell me, am I the A***hole or the hero of my own damn story? Chad didn't take the consultant offer. Not right away. Instead, he disappeared for 6 months. Then one day, I get a package. No note. Just a prototype device. It was genius. A cross between AI and user therapy for aging users. I called him. Where'd this come from? Me. I guess I had to build something on my own. Maybe he did get the message. That year, Chad came to Thanksgiving dinner. No tension. No drama. Just turkey and talk. You know, Dad, he said between bites. Firing me might have been the best thing you ever did for me. I raised my wine. You're welcome. Senior fires son, saves company made the headlines. Media wanted interviews, podcasts, even a streaming docuseries. I declined. Mostly. Except one. Real Grit, American Legends. They filmed me in my garage, restoring an old Mustang. I told them, success isn't about how many people you please. It's about who remembers you when you're gone. Revenue doubled. Morale was sky high. We launched a mentorship program for employees over 50. It went viral. Boomer Brilliance trended on LinkedIn. The remaining board members called an emergency meeting. Harold, you're 75. We need to talk succession again. I pulled out a folder. Inside, my new CEO pick. Not Chad. My granddaughter, Lily, 29, MBA, and sharp as a tack. Gasps around the room. Nepotism. One whispered. No, I said. Legacy. Turns out, Chad started his own company, MindPath. He used what he learned about business and humility. He even hired older developers. You were right, Dad, he said at our next lunch. I needed the fire to build something from the ashes. I started getting letters, emails, DMs, from people who were pushed out, replaced, forgotten. You gave me hope, Harold. I took my job back. Because of you. You're proof that we're not done until we say we're done. Chad and I shared a whiskey at his new office. So, no hard feelings, he asked. None, I said. You gonna buy me out next time I get too comfortable? You better believe it. We laughed. They wrote me off. They underestimated the old man. But I didn't just take my company back. I lit a fire under my son. I built a new generation. I redefined retirement. And I'm not done yet. So tell me, was I the villain? Or just the hero no one saw coming? Like, share, subscribe, and drop your verdict in the comments. Was I the A*** hole, or the badass? 6 months after Lily took over as CEO, we held a company-wide town hall. Cameras, press, and hundreds of employees filled the auditorium. Lily introduced a new initiative, Silver Sparks. A program pairing employees over 60 with recent grads. The wisdom of age meets the energy of youth, she said. Standing backstage, I wiped a tear. I hadn't just saved a company. I'd helped build a culture. A month later, Chad showed up at Benson Tech unannounced. He brought a check. For the scholarship fund you started, Dad. Double it. From MindPath. I took the check, stunned. You're full of surprises. Learned from the best. We hugged. I took Lily out for coffee. What made you say yes to running the company? She smiled. Because you didn't just hand me a throne. You showed me how to fight for it. That hit me deep. Legacy isn't just what you leave behind. It's who you lift up while you're here. There was a letter I wrote to Chad the night after the retirement party. I never sent it. Dear son, if you're reading this, it's because you've taken my place before I was ready. I hope you realize leadership isn't about power. It's about service. I left it in my desk. He found it one day. He framed it. Sometimes, silence is louder than speeches. Final words. I'm 76 now. Still sharp. Still fierce. Still me. They tried to write me off. But I rewrote the ending. And maybe, just maybe, you can too. Smash like. Hit subscribe. And always remember, age is just a number. Legacy is forever.